World ranking of 9th. He's 26 years old. Good career win-loss, as you can see, 115.84, and doing pretty well in 2014 as well. Right-handed, as you can see, 5'9", and look, there you go, it just says it there, world ranking 1. Look at that career win-loss, 528 to 105, possibly the greatest badminton player of all time. Of course, there is another man, Lin Dan, who is talked of in exactly the same manner. Of course, he drops in and drops out of tournaments. For most Malaysian badminton fans and most world badminton fans, this man, Chong Wei, is the best. Here are umpire and service judge for today, Kelly Hall from Australia, Pinder Sabawal from India. India, of course, on a bit of a high right now because their men's team may have had to exit the Thomas Cup on Monday at the hands of South Korea. But their women's team, led by the inspirational Sanya Nehwal, has made it to the last 8 of the Uber Cups end stage. And I can tell you now, there are some other matches, of course, going on in this afternoon session. This is the last day where there shall be 3 sessions a day, one morning, one afternoon, one in the evening. And we've already seen some amazing, amazing matches. There was a great Uber Cup tie you just would have seen, which saw Indonesia take on Korea. And Korea, well, they may have won 4-1, but I'll tell you, every single one of those matches and every single one of those games within those matches was down to the wire, and it was one of the longest and most enthralling contests so far. Now, everything is on the eyes, all the eyes, sorry, are in the eyes of SON Wan Ho. He competed in the singles event at the 2012 Summer Olympics. He also has a bachelor degree from Inha University in Incheon. Good to see. And I think we're just about ready to go on court 2. So, the first point, of course, so critical in Thomas and Uber Cup action. The background on SON Wan Ho, he of course took part in the Badminton Asia Championships, and he did make the semi-finals of the All England Open.
Ladies and gentlemen, on my right,
it was
Korea,
in March
by SON Wan Ho.
this year, and it was actually Chong Wei who disposed of him, 21-14, 19-21, 15-21. So he has got a claim to fame, at least, of being able to take a game off the champion. And let's see if he can take 2 games off the champion today. And look at that for an opening point. This has been the theme of play today, that there has been no warm-up run of points in the early first game. Things have been kicking off right from the start. Straight at the body. A good plunge. Now you can just see Chong Wei beginning to stretch his game a little bit. So far he's just been, in essence, just playing nice defensive tactics from the mid-court. Of course, defensive tactics for Chong Wei can so easily turn to something extremely offensive. And of the 2 players in these opening 4 points, it's been the Korean that's moving around the court a lot more. And be very wary of that. And his teammates look on. They've been quite exceptional, the Korean team so far. Here's the 26-year-old with a couple of points. That was a very nice idea. And you can see how well read it was by Chong Wei. Have a look at it again. It's a nice little backhand net kill. He's played a great many games.
3-all.
And he knows that backcourt line so well. So, level at 3 apiece. Chong Wei back with the serve. That was very well done. I was just about to say in the middle of that point, it's very difficult to find space against Chong Wei. He does manage to marshal that center tee so well. You really have to be right on the lines. Variety of shots so far from Chong Wei. The other ties that he has played over the last 3 days, he hasn't come out quite as incisive, mainly because he didn't have to, but you can just see from some of the backcourt smashes as well, he's not taking this lightly at all. As we said earlier, SON Wan Ho has taken one game off Chong Wei. That was at the All England, which of course Chong Wei went on to win, beating Chen Long in the final. Straight games. That was earlier this year in March. Perhaps Chong Wei is thinking about that and just wants to clear up that one little blip from his season. He of course has had a stellar year, as he always does. There was a win at the Malaysia Open, the All England Open, the India Open. Runner-up at the Singapore Open. And these are all just tiny victories to a man that has won pretty much everything, with the exception of the Olympics, of course. Each of these shots has been shining with quality from both players. Just a good example of Chong Wei's speed and movement there. Come off the jump smash, move straight to the net. Still good performance so far from the Korean. You still get the impression that Chong Wei has those extra gears that he can move into. But he is not perturbed so far by the sight of Lee Chong Wei on the other side of the net. And he's keeping pace with him. 7-5 now. we said earlier, this Group C encounter between Malaysia and Korea to decide who will be topping the group. So important to top the group. If you want to miss the other top seeds.
5.
Of course, Indonesia now already through with 3 wins in Group A, ahead of Thailand. China, of course, through with 3 wins in Group D over France. Fantastic shot
Service over.
from SON Wan Ho.
9.
You could see Chong Wei was down on the ground, and he picked his spot, followed through nicely. It was a beautiful cross-court from SON Wan Ho, led to Chong Wei in full stretch. This game being played on the white lines. Beautiful cross-court drop from Chong Wei. I don't know if the replay will highlight that, but that was an incredible shot from the forehand side he paid. Might be here. Who was there, I think? With the slip.
Play.
Could have gone so much worse. 8-9. And Chong Wei still checking that patch that he slipped on. No court cleaners as of yet. Just checking his grip. Great power, great angle on the shuffle. Very difficult with the upward stroke to retrieve and pick that up. SON Wan Ho did well, just clipped the top of the net. 10-8. First real points gap between the players. And that was commanding form from Chong Wei. And there is, of course, at the 11-point break, just showing his class and taking the lead. (11-8) in the first phase of Malaysia's final round-robin tie against Korea. This tie to decide who will top Group C. SON Wan Ho, the 26-year-old, who I suppose, when playing Lee Chong Wei, I suppose what you really have to mention is that he did manage to take a game off the world #1 earlier this year. Apart from that, his general performance so far from Lee Chong Wei, with a little bit more incision, he knows it's getting closer to the business end of the tournament. He always picks up his form. Look at that, look at that. If you could have a point as quick as that, you'd take it. So much power on the smash, followed up so quickly up to the net and just killed it to the other side. 12-8 now. Members of our commentary team here, Jim Lagasan, the doubles player, was saying just the other day how the backhand flick has almost vanished from the men's game, but for Chong Wei it is a valid shot. He can get so much power into his flick. You saw him use it a couple of times just in those early points, and of course that means that when you're playing him, you really don't know where it's going to come from. Again, it was a great cross court, just wide. So 13-9. Chong Wei to serve. And we just see Chong Wei just trying his motion a little bit from his right arm. A couple of those down the line drives just been a bit too errant for his liking. That one just a bit low on the net. So 11-13. And plenty of encouragement to be taken for Korea's first shuttler up in this Thomas Cup 5-match tie. Singles, doubles, second doubles, and finally the third singles. And with two teams of this caliber, 12-13. This means fantastic badminton for the world to see. 12-13 now, and a chance for SON Wan Ho to draw level.
Service over. 14-12.
Which vanishes just as quickly as it turned up. Again, playing on the lines.
Service over.
And it's good.
13-14.
Interesting strategy from SON Wan Ho. Doesn't want to get into any rallies or longish rallies if he can. Rather avoid them with some outright winners, as you can see there. And if you are being that accurate, then perhaps that's just the best strategy. So he does draw level, 14-all. And this is turning into a riveting contest already. And right now this strategy of power, steep angles and precision from the Korean seems to be reaping its rewards slowly, very slowly. Chong Wei, of course, not in trouble at all, but definitely He can't seem to run away with a string of points, as Son always has something that he can pull back. So 15-14 now. And there you go again. That backhand side drive of his
16-14.
doesn't seem to be quite connecting. Have a look at it there. And that, for his standards, is just a little bit too wide. And now SON Wan Ho with a 2-point lead in this first game of the third round robin match for both teams, Korea and Malaysia, on the eve of the quarterfinal draw, which both of them have qualified for. It's a question of which team they will be facing in the last 8. Some of these fans have already seen some fantastic badminton today, and now they get a chance to see the world number 1. So SON Wan Ho 16-14, and of course if he does manage to pull off another game here against Chong Wei, that's a headline itself. And that is what being number 1 is all about. And quick reflexes at the net. There you go. And then look at this round the head. Fantastic. You can get so much power into that shot. Falling back as well. Just about to strike that. Realized it. Didn't have to. Pull it back. And he's very good, of course, at taking shots, but he's also very good at not taking shots. And there's a large sum of points. Yes. And a good eye and being able to judge the lines. And there's the mirror of the shot you saw before, just to prove his versatility, I suppose, to us. There was the backhand to forehand, and then there was the forehand to backhand. Cross courts. Beautiful stuff. And before you know it, SON Wan Ho is looking at the scoreboard, and look who's above him. Now, that was more a tiny error of awareness, I suppose. You can just see here that SON Wan Ho was watching that previous shot for a little bit too long, had his back towards the Chong Wei's forehand side. Chong Wei saw that and smashed it down. There was no way he was going to turn and get to it. 18-16, everything back on track for Chong Wei. And he might be having troubles on the other backcourt line, but not on the forehand side by the looks of it. So we've already seen in this first game pinpoint accuracy on 2 opposing cross courts, and one of the lines probably going to stay away from this backhand side drive. It's the only one he's been a little bit errant on, and I suppose there's always one shot that, even as a world champion, you want to work on. And he's finding his rhythm. 2016 game point.
20 game point, 16.
How many times has Chong Wei got to this point? I think it's safe to say a fair few. long.
17-20.
So he has another 4 game points. Change of shuttle for the Korean. Disguise that. You could just see SON Wan Ho just scurrying to get that drop shot. It was just disguised very nicely. 21-17 to Lee Chong Wei. So, halfway into the first match of the Korea-Malaysia tie in the Thomas Cup. The final day of round-robin action. It's the afternoon session here in New Delhi. And we have the honor of watching the world's best. World number 1, Lee Chong Wei of Malaysia. Already 1 game up in this match against 26-year-old SON Wan Ho from Korea. And you can see in the blue and white, who put up a great fight in the first game. But as we said, Lee Chong Wei with just a few extra gears that he can move through, and he did so effortlessly. And after being down at 16, powered his way through to a 21-18 win in the first game. Here we are, ready for the second. And that was beautiful. Sometimes when he moves, it's almost as if he knows exactly where that shuttle is going to be and where it's going to end up. Amazing that he got to it. That looked like the most power that SON Wan Ho could put into a shot, and it was still recovered. It just didn't quite have the height. Incredible shot planned by Chong Wei. And there you go again. We saw how devastating he was from both sides in that first game. Here it is, falling back, round the head, overhead, cross-court smash into the corner. Two-one. This is actually the most we've seen Chong Wei stretched, of course. I think he knows exactly how powerful this Korean team has been and can get. So he's definitely not doing this at a training pace or a walking pace. We're beginning to see more and more of his guns coming out. And that was Brilliant.
Service over.
No
3-2.
identifiable weaknesses so far when shooting from this side of the court. So Chong Wei moving very fluidly now. That one a bit long.
Service over. 3-all.
Just looking to the sky. He does really come down on himself for the shots he misses. Again, amazing reflexes. And if that shot had gone in, that literally would have been one for the highlights reel. And that might be where this young 26-year-old from Korea could start eking out some points and forcing the issue at the net, lessening the response time that Chong Wei has. That might rattle him enough, as we saw in that last point, to just push the odd shot long or wide. But really, when playing Chong Wei, you not only have to identify those weaknesses or find a successful strategy quickly, because before you know it, you're a game down. So can SON Wan Ho from Korea give his country an opening point? Of course, the winner of this tie will finish top of Group C, which is ideally the best spot to be in as you move into the quarterfinals, as the seeded draws mean you won't face some of the big powerhouses. Malaysia, of course, currently topping Group C with 2 4-1 wins in their previous ties. Against Germany and India. Korea have had a tougher run. They had a 3-2 and a 3-2 against Germany and India. Of course, that leaves them with less points, less games, but the same amount of group points. 4 apiece right now. You probably could have left that one. SON Wan Ho now willing to take on some of these longer rallies. Chong Wei entertaining him. Both just standing on their back lines with high clears. Wide. Switching to a bit more of a defensive strategy now. Willing to take on a few more rallies, maybe just to see how they will fare. He's 7-5 up. And that beautiful cross court. Getting too much for a diving Chong Wei to retrieve. Great technique shown by the Korean. And that's a testament to how much SON Wan Ho has been running around this court. His side of the court currently getting cleaned. As some of the families around New Delhi, and some of the fans from here and around Asia have all gathered here at the wonderful Sri Fort Sports Complex in New Delhi to watch the best of the best in Asia's biggest badminton tournament. I correct myself, the world's biggest badminton tournament.
Thank you, sit down.
And here in it, SON Wan Ho kicking off this tie for Korea in the first singles match
8-5
against Malaysia. 8-5, the biggest lead he's had so far against the world number one. And it just gets bigger, 9-5 now. Nice angle on that. And that's always the danger of standing in mid-court. You just saw SON Wan Ho trying to essentially do what Chong Wei's been doing to him, just stand mid-court with a foot in either backhand and the forehand courts. Just trying to marshal things from there with blocks, but very susceptible to the backcourt line winners. And look at that again. It's not just the angle, it's also the speed. Almost impossible to pick up. I think Chong Wei saw himself 4 points down, decided to up the ante a little bit. He's now 7-9. And we'll probably see, I'm sure, one more attempt at an outright winner just to get him up to
play
a points tally that he can strike from. As predicted,
8-9 shuttle.
it is really about how you channel your own skills and your own talent to recoup points and score points. It's not just about the quickest man to 21. If you find yourself in a harsh situation, what will delineate a champion from another player is the ability to come back. Chong Wei is so good at that. Net tosses there, just
10-8.
quickly moving off court. So 10-8 now. SON Wan Ho wants to get back in this match. It's a crucial point.
Service over.
Chong Wei just closes back.
10.
What used to be a 4-point lead. You hardly ever see, of course, Chong Wei's renowned for being able to string together point runs at the end of games, so it's not very indicative in the early parts of the games as to what the score is. And even for a world number one, if you're, say, 10, 11 points down, you're just really asking yourself to play exceptional badminton all the time. I'm sure this is one of the things that the coaches of Malaysia over the years have told Chong Wei, lending him their experience. He's, of course, Malaysia's national treasure.
Service over. 11-9. Interval.
So in the first game, Chong Wei at the midway point was 11-9 up, and in the second game, perhaps A little bit of encouragement for his Korean opponent, the 26-year-old SON Wan Ho, as he's taken the unofficial lead at the midway point of the second game, the first match of the Malaysia-Korea tie.
Play.
The final day of round-robin action, Thomas and Uber Cup Finals 2014. Played right at the body or even just behind it.
10-11.
No way. It was actually a very good attempt at trying to retrieve it. I'm sure a player will come along one of these days into the badminton fraternity that has the unique ability to return shots that are fired direct to the body. Hasn't happened yet. There's even the likes of Li Juri, Lin Dan, Chong Wei. It's almost a free point. Look at how quickly Chong Wei recovered from that. It was flat on the ground. What a beautiful rally that was, and you could almost feel when SON Wan Ho checked the line and put up an adequate clearance. Chong Wei knew exactly where he was going to fire that smash. Not his most powerful, but enough to draw him level at 11 apiece. Amazed that SON Wan Ho managed to retrieve that cross court. That one was a little bit beyond him. That's kind of what I expected. I'm sure what Chong Wei expected from the first one, so he just thought he'd try it again. As you can hear some of the other ties that are happening here at these 3-4 complexes, we watch Lee Chong Wei and SON Wan Ho. I can tell you that in court 1, as you just heard, Japan and Denmark will be facing off in the Uber Cup. There is, of course, the consolation match, I suppose you could say, from this Group C, which includes Malaysia and Korea, and that's Germany, India. That's also happening here. Of course, the Indian team, the Indian men's team, eliminated by Korea in a 3-2 loss on Monday. Their women's team still doing very well at the Uber Cup, thanks to really exceptional form from Saina Nehwal. That was a beautiful point from SON Wan Ho, just to stop Chong Wei from charging ahead. He doesn't usually leave much space around the court for you to exploit. On that occasion, SON Wan Ho had quite a large area to aim for. Seems to be this transition from fast play to the delicate net tosses that also could be an area for SON Wan Ho to exploit. Chong Wei hasn't been 100% on those. It's 13 apiece now. And this is the danger area for SON Wan Ho, as Chong Wei is known for just pulling away at this 3-quarter stage of any game. Very difficult shot for most people. For the world number one, piece of cake.
13.
Just a push. It's very difficult for the average player to keep, of course, their forearm and their wrist in one continuous line to keep the follow through. Of course, you're not allowed to touch the net either. And no fault for Chong Wei in thinking
15,
that he'd left that other side of the court so open that he needed to centralize himself. And it was well spotted by SON Wan Ho. Just killed it. Still 15-13. Now, of course, as the world number one, he's expected to win in straight games, and it must be such a great tonic for the coaches. That's also Rashid Sidek just now, legend of Malaysian badminton himself, and it must be great fun just to watch someone with the qualities of Chong Wei just stand up every time and lead Malaysia off every time in the style and the force that he does. 16-13 now, and everything looking good in the Chong Wei book. And so often this happens to his opponents. They watch the game slip away. 17-13 now. Recovery again. And you can tell what a great shot, a disguised cross-court smash. After all the power, it just dipped just ahead of the net. Look at this, he gets up here. That was good enough to win. And credit to SON Wan Ho, but look at that. And then look at this fantastic disguised drop shot. 18-13.
Thank you.
And you can just see on the other side of that court, on court 3, that's the Malaysia-Germany tie, the Uber Cup,
13.
Malaysia's women.
Play.
There have been a couple of instances, of course, here at the 3-4 Sports Complex where both teams from a certain country have been playing right next to each other. SON Wan Ho was convinced that was going out. I think we all knew a little bit better. There have been a couple of instances, as I said, of teams playing together, men's and women's. Of course, the unfortunate case of the Singapore women's and men's team, both qualified for the first time for the Thomas and Uber Cup finals together. Both played their final matches this morning against Australia and Nigeria, and sadly, both of them 5-0 losses. Meanwhile, Lee Chong Wei, world number one,
20,
and the figurehead and talisman for Malaysian badminton, is now at match point. He's reached this point so many times in his career. He's got 8 of them. I have a funny feeling he's not going to need that many. Now perhaps that was one point that didn't quite go according to plan. You hardly ever see Lee Chong Wei, unless of course he's playing perhaps maybe Lin Dan or his nemesis, but you hardly ever see him scurrying back for shots. He always knows pretty much exactly where it's going to be. Still, he has plenty more match points in the can. It's 14-20. Great racket fake. Chong Wei played off the serve. That one out. 15-20. Now don't get your hopes up just yet. I'm sure is what all the Korean fans are thinking at the moment. It's far from over when you're playing Lee Chong Wei. And that last shot may have been out, but I think I'm safe to say that everyone watching just now would be marveling at Chong Wei's precision on court and his variation of speed, not just in his movement but also in the shots that he plays. And he said this young 26-year-old from Korea was really up against it and did come up with a lot of great returns this end. Any one of those shots could have spelt the end of this match. And again returns the killing point with his own.
17-20.
Oh, I did say that the odds were stacked against him, with Chong Wei just needing 1 point to close out this match. But one thing you have to say about Korean badminton, they never ever give up, singles and doubles. And he's done it with the most spectacular shot at the end. He knew he had to break the rhythm of SON Wan Ho, who was gaining in confidence. Lee Chong Wei, as usual, has delivered Malaysia's first point. That's confirmation in just 50 minutes. The world number one, 21-17, 21-17, mirrored scores. Malaysia 1-0 up against Korea.